All right, so I'm just starting this. I don't know what I'm going to talk about, but I'm realizing I'm opening a thing of bread, and that makes me think of man cannot live on bread alone, but by every word that comes from the mouth of God. So what does that mean? That means this looks like you really need it, right? To survive. Without food, you die. So it's like also representing, though, the sustenance, right? It's also representing just anything of this world that we depend on, right? We depend on jobs, we depend on water, we depend on shelter, we depend on even different people, we depend on the government for a lot of different things, right? For protection, for rights. We depend on our families, depend on our friends, we depend on things for different things that we need, right? So it can be like the practical things that we need for our body, things that we need for security, for love, lots of things, right? But what does the Bible say? Love the Lord your God with all your heart, right? All your soul, all your mind, all your strength. Love him first. So if you're pouring all that love into God, then when he says something to you, your bread is already in him. He's your bread. And so the bread of this world, you no longer look at it the same way. You see the one who made it, and you know that you need him. And the sustenance that you need, not just for spiritually, emotionally, but even physically, everything comes from him. Like the Israelites, manna from heaven. This is actually legitimately manna from heaven, because I ain't got no money. I'm back in my car, all of this. So, but again, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that comes from the mouth of God, because Jesus said that when he was fasting, he had gone 40 days with no food. Nothing. No sleep, probably. I don't know where that came from. But, the devil tried to tempt him to something that didn't seem wrong, right? Like, you need bread. You need this to survive. You need a job. You're such a weight to everybody. You're such a pain in the butt, right? But man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that comes from the mouth of God. I am more afraid of God. I have more of the fear of God in me than the fear of man. And the fear of man will prove to be a snare. That's all I have to say. Just trust God. And partake of him. Jesus. He is the bread of life. And if anyone thirsts, let him come to me. And he will be overflowing with living water. Out of his belly will flow rivers of living water. That's John 7. Paraphrasing. If you're thirsty, if you're hungry, come buy wine and milk that has no cost. Why toil for what does not satisfy? That's Isaiah something. Come to me. I lost all my Bibles and I gave them away. Crap. I'll find one. But I'm eating bread I'm eating bread, and it's not the bread of this world. I have meat you know not of. Right, that's Jesus to the Samaritan when he was talking with the Samaritan woman at the well, who had 5 husbands, and the one she was with was not her husband. And Jesus already knew that. You can't hide from Jesus. But her believing in him and the joy she had, doing the will of God, you know, it's like food for your soul. The joy of the Father, you feel that. Because that's where your heart is. And it's like eating. You get filled up. You get nourished. And Jesus was weary. He was hungry when he was resting at that well. And then he was satisfied. I have food you know not of. And people were questioning him too. Like, what was he doing with that woman? Right? And that's perfectly fine. But, yeah, the fruit. You know them by their fruit. God is calling his disciples, saying, follow me. You know, I'll show you things that you know not of. I will. You want that? You want to know what manna tastes like? It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Pretty good.